Coming up tonight on SLU News 22.
Bills soccer with a win.
Ottertoberfest at the zoo.
Liquid on Mars.
Swarms of bunnies.
Plus the national news and weather live from the Busch Student Center. This is SLU News 22.
Good evening, I'm Parra.
And I'm Borah.
Thank you for joining us this evening. As tensions in Syria mount, increased Russian involvement in the civil war prompted international talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The talks started last week with a closed-door meeting between Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Russian leaders. Now the talks have expanded to the United Nations General Assembly and to U.S. President Barack Obama. Putin has always maintained strong ties with Syrian President Bashar al-Assad and has sent troops into Syria to help al-Assad maintain control in the ongoing fight against ISIS. President Obama chastised Putin and the UN for not enforcing sanctions on Russia after their annexation of Crimea. Obama is against both al-Assad and ISIS and does not approve of Russia utilizing troops in order to gain control of the disrupted state.
In the wake of almost 800 deaths and 100 more severely injured, Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has encouraged the Saudi Arabian government to take responsibility for a stampede that occurred during one of Islam's most sacred events, the Hajj. Saudi Arabian officials are still investigating a cause to the incident. The high death toll from the incident has sparked religious tensions between Shiite Iranians and Sunni Saudi Arabians. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani has threatened to take the Saudi Arabian government to the UN court to determine responsibility.
Chief Meteorologist Bobby Stilwell is in the Weather Center with our forecast. Bobby, what have you got for us this week?
Well, this week is looking to be a very interesting week. It follows that old adage of you'll experience all four seasons in 1 week in St. Louis. And it's definitely going to be the case this week. Right now across the area, we have 80s and partly cloudy skies, except for Sparta, which is a lone exception right now at 79, but it's still very beautiful outside. Tonight we're going to get down to 63 degrees, mostly clear skies. There's a chance of storms as right up until about midnight. There's a chance of storms, but not a big one. So keep your eyes to the skies, keep your umbrellas handy if you're going out and about tonight. The big weather story, it's a stormy start to the week as that chance of storms lingers into tomorrow afternoon. Midweek it's going to cloud up, and this weekend it's going to be really cold, so it's definitely a interesting weather week. Big departure from last week. And I'll be back with my full forecast in a few minutes. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Bobby. Burkina Faso's most well-trained troops are refusing to surrender. After a coup last year, former Burkina Faso President Blaise Compaoré was ousted and replaced with Michel Kafando. Now, Burkina Faso's presidential guards have taken the Kafando government hostage and are refusing to release the new leadership until Compaoré is reinstated. Other neighboring states have been involved in efforts to disband the presidential guard and keep Kafando and the new government in power.
The Taliban is regaining ground in Afghanistan for the first time since 2001. The former government has gained control of Kunduz, a city in northern Afghanistan, for the first time. Taliban forces have been gaining popularity in recent months with the rise of ISIS in Syria. Kunduz is a major producer of grain for the country and a massive loss for the unstable Afghan government.
Following a summer manhunt for escaped murderers David Sweat and Richard Matt, the prison worker who provided the two offenders with tools to escape from a New York maximum security prison pled guilty and was sentenced to 7 years in prison. The employee, Joyce Mitchell, said she helped the two after they threatened to harm her husband, who worked at the prison. The judge was unconvinced that her husband and family were in any danger. Richard Matt was killed in an altercation with officials, and David Sweat was arrested after the altercation. Sweat is still awaiting a sentence.
After 5 days in the United States, Pope Francis has returned to Rome. He leaves in his wake full hearts and gratitude for his kindness. During his trip, he visited the Capitol, New York, and Philadelphia, blessing thousands of people, as well as giving special blessings at the 9/11 memorial, as well as the White House. Upon his departure, he shared, quote, "It was a beautiful thing and also different. Washington, the welcome was warm but formal. New York was a bit exuberant. Philadelphia was very demonstrative," end quote. One thing's for sure, Pope Francis left an impact on the United States of America.
Coming up next, your SLU area news. Stay with us. Welcome back. Last weekend, over 2,500 SLU alumni from across the globe came home for the annual Homecoming and Family Weekend. The weekend started off with a Golden Billiken dinner for the class of 1965. Billiken's men's soccer team beat Central Arkansas 3-1 before a fireworks show to celebrate the victory.
Thursday, October 1st, SLU will welcome nearly 40 religious communities to campus for a vocation fair from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Students will be able to visit with religious sisters, brothers, and priests near the clock tower. Each religious order is unique in helping the church and global community. A special mass will also be held at 11:30 a.m. on the lawn.
St. Louis University Habitat for Humanity will host Cardboard City beginning at 5 p.m. Friday, October 2nd at Tegler Field. Participants will build their own cardboard structure while learning about homelessness and enjoying pizza, Fitz's root beer, and Tedros. The cost of the event is $5 and includes food.
Multiple departments from the Division of Student Development are hosting a sexual assault prevention speaker, Jeff Buchholz, from the organization We End Violence, at 5:30 p.m. Wednesday, September 30th, in the Wool Ballrooms located in the BSC. His talk is titled, Together We Can, Sexual Violence, Gender, and Responsibility. The audience will learn about sexual violence and how to prevent it through an examination of the cultural ideologies, attitudes, and behaviors that allow it to flourish. The event is sponsored by SLU Wellness, Athletics, Greek Life, Housing and Residence Life, and the Office of Student Responsibilities and Community Standards.
The historic Shaw Art Fair will begin taking place Saturday, October 3rd until Sunday, October 4th at 4100 and 4200 Flora Place, just east of the Missouri Botanical Garden. The fair will showcase around 135 top-caliber artists and craftspeople from around the country. The fair showcases many different art mediums, including photography, clay, glass, textile, jewelry, painting, woodwork, mixed media, and sculpture.
The St. Louis Zoo will be hosting Ottertoberfest Saturday, October 3rd and Sunday, October 4th, and Saturday, October 10th and Sunday, October 11th from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. Admission is free. Ottertoberfest honors the North American river otters. The fest will include live music, kids' activities, beer, bratwurst, and other German specialties.
Coming up next, your work week forecast. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Meteorologist Bobby Stilwell is here with our extended forecast. Bobby, the clouds still hanging around from the eclipse last night?
Not really. They actually cleared out, but they're going to be making a return later in the week, and it's going to cause our temperatures to actually go down. It's going to be really weird this week to have that happen. Yeah, right now it's really bad out. It's really going to be interesting this week. Right now here at SLU we are at 83 degrees with a dew point of 66, and so it's getting cold. It's getting up. That dew point is getting up there to the point where it's going to start being really bad out there. It's really bad. It's really going to be kind of oppressive out there. Pressure is 29.91, and it is going to fall as we get a chance of storms overnight tonight. Right now across the Great Lakes area, you can see we've got cold air up to the north. We also have a low pressure system over the Iowa-Nebraska border, and a cold front that's pushing down, bringing that cold air with it. And a high pressure system over the top of Oklahoma City, associated with some warm air. Cloudy skies over there in the southeast, and the skies are clear up as we get closer to the Great Lakes. Look at the nationwide now. You see you got that high pressure system and that low pressure system up there, and that's going to be pushing in towards St. Louis, bringing that cold air with it and making our temperatures come down. Out in the west, though, they've got warm air and cloudy skies, so the west is the place to be right now. Tonight, we are going to be getting down to 63 degrees, partly cloudy skies. There is that chance of storms that I mentioned. It's not too good, though. Keep your eyes to the skies. Keep your umbrellas handy if you have them. Light winds. Tomorrow, we're going to be getting up to 83. The chance of rain goes away in the morning, but comes back in the afternoon, and it's a better chance for some storms. So again, umbrellas, jackets, keep your eyes to the skies. Winds will be 5 to 10 miles an hour out of the northwest, gusting to 20. It's going to be a very breezy day tomorrow. Very breezy. And look at the 5-day now. You can see the temperature is going to drop into Friday. getting down to 66 during the day, 52 overnight. And Saturday we rebound somewhat. That's going to be pretty much the trend going into next week. Temperatures in the 60s and lows in the 50s overnight. So it's really a cold week. You might want to start considering turning your heat on if you got heat and you have control over it.
Great. Thank you so much, Bobby. Up next, we'll look into the world of sports and entertainment. Don't go away. Welcome back. Liquid water was discovered on Mars' surface. A new study looked at streaks that form on slopes on Mars during warmer times of the year. Scientists previously suspected they might be caused by flowing salty water during summer temperatures. It is still unclear whether life does or can exist on Mars.
Peter Patska was declared dead in 1989 after having gone missing 5 years earlier. While police in Dusseldorf were investigating a robbery, they found the missing Patska alive and well, living under an assumed name. Patska withdrew 4,000 Deutschmarks from her account and left school, never to be heard from again. Patska's new identity has been kept anonymous.
A horde of bunnies have left one city in Washington hopping mad. Hundreds of bunnies have been running rampant around Langley, Washington, leaving residents perplexed. Where the bunnies came from is still a mystery. However, some seem to believe they are the descendants of European hares that escaped from the Island County Fairground decades ago. A community meeting is scheduled for October 7th to address the city's bunny problem.
The Weeknd stands firmly at number 1 on the Billboard 100 chart. His song, The Hills, from his most recent album, spins its second spot at number 1. Joining him, Taylor Swift's Wildest Dreams reached the top 10 list, and in other chart-topping news, Drake just became the 4th act to tally at least 100 Hot 100 entries on the Billboard charts, joining the ranks of Elvis Presley, the Glee cast, and Lil Wayne.
Winners of this weekend's box office included Hotel Transylvania and The Intern. Hotel Transylvania 2 opened this weekend with a whopping $47.5 million, which set a record for the biggest non-inflation adjusted September opening. Surprising audiences with an unexpected comic duo, The Intern, starring Anne Hathaway and Robert De Niro, snatched second place at the box office, bringing in $18.2 million. Losers at this weekend's box office included The Green Inferno and Stonewall, who brought in $3.5 million and $112,414, respectively.
Shell Corporation has stopped drilling for oil in Alaska on Monday following a massive failure in their billion-dollar excavation efforts. The drilling project found oil and gas, but not effort to make the site viable for future efforts. Low oil prices have the drilling less profitable. The Shell has said that the plan to continue to drill once prices rise enough to justify the drilling economically.
Although the Milwaukee Brewers have been eliminated from playoff contention, they can still cause disruption in the race for the National Central Division title, as the Cardinals and Pittsburgh Pirates are fighting for the title. The Brewers defeated the NL Central leaders in an 8-4 win. The Brewers' 7 runs gave them the win. The Cardinals will play a 3-game series starting tonight in Pittsburgh to discover the NL Central Division champion.
A tightly contested game gave yet another Pittsburgh team the win over St. Louis. The Pittsburgh Steelers defeated the St. Louis Rams by a score of 12-6. The loss puts the Rams at 1-2 losses on the season. New Rams quarterback Nick Foles, acquired in a trade this summer, has been faring comparatively better than former Rams quarterback Sam Bradford. The Rams take on the Phoenix Cardinals this Sunday in Phoenix.
Bobby, you said it's getting a little bit cold this week. Do you have any good news for us?
Well, besides the cold, I do have some good news. To start the week, it's looking good to start the week. Once the weekend comes around, it's looking to be colder though. So early this week is still going to be the time to be outside, have your windows open, and enjoy it. The problem is going to come whenever the weekend rolls around, and you might have to turn your heat on if you have control over it. So it's definitely going to be a weekend to keep your eyes to the skies and monitor the weather.
Right. Well, I personally really like wearing jackets and sweaters and things like that, so I'm not too disappointed, but I'm sure some people will be.
Yeah, some people will definitely be disappointed by this forecast, and don't come after me for this forecast. I just tell you what you're going to see.
Well, that's our show for tonight. Thanks for watching.
And don't forget, you can always get the latest movie reviews and news online at slutv.slu.edu or follow us on Facebook and Twitter. We will be here next week at 6 p.m.